handling crude oil prices, Governor Udom Emmanuel charges Akwa Ibom people to seek divine intervention. Bid to raise farmers' income, government calls for investment in cocoa plantations, a source of subsidized seedlings. Quest to curb infant mortality in Nigeria, government rolls out campaign to immunize children against measles. Plus, police anti-robbery squad intercepts kidnapping gang. Details shortly. Good morning, it's Channel 45 News at Dawn, reaching you from Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State Capital. I am Akaniyene Ukbo. Governor Udom Emmanuel has charged Akwa Ibom people to seek divine intervention to rescue the nation from further hardship as the economy contracts due to falling crude oil prices. The governor gave the charge during the January edition of the Government House Prayer held at Later House Chapel, Governor's Lodge. He said the fall in the price of crude oil and the resultant dwindling value of the naira has led to a shortfall in the financial allocation to states. The report is here presented.
The shortfall in the revenue accruing to states has made it difficult for some states to meet its obligations to their workforce. He said that but not for ingenuity, fiscal appropriation and management of resources, it would have been difficult to meet expectations in handling programs and projects in the state. Mr. Manuel said that work would soon begin at construction sites as the construction firms have returned from vacation.
So please, we need to pray for Nigeria, and I'm so serious about it. I don't stop praying for this country every minute. If we continue like this, I don't know what will happen to so many states in this country. As of today, there are a lot of states in this country who cannot even think of 3 months arrest of salary, not to talk of current month's salary.
He also announced plans to launch grassroots peasant multipurpose cocoa scheme. The governor said consultants from Canada and Switzerland are on ground to educate the people on the cultivation of cocoa. Mr. Manuel called on the people to invest in cocoa plantation as improved seedlings will be provided by government at a subsidized rate. He said that the cocoa, when harvested and dried, will be exported and a consumer cooperative established to purchase the seeds at the prevailing international market price to encourage farmers.
We discovered that we have better soil, better weather than that place. So we are trying to supply seedlings. We want to prove something to our people that you can sit right inside your village, you don't even need to come out. Instead of those wild palm trees that you can no longer fetch so much from it, you can just, let's test something. Just clear some parts, take the seedlings of those cocoa and put it there. As of today, we have about 8,200 registered rural cocoa farmers who are interested. We'll give them the training, the seedlings, what we want to do. That seedlings we are giving them should be able to yield the maximum of 3 years. Once it yields, they will harvest, dry up, then we set up like cooperatives to buy it off them. And we buy them at international market price. It's another way we want to actually take wealth into the villages and make sure we create wealth for our people. So please, let people rise and embrace it.
In a sermon, Reverend Joseph Eton of the Presbyterian Church said that it was the grace of God that had sustained the state government and the people to witness the new year. Preaching on the theme, Grace for the Greater Things Than These, the cleric prayed God to continually preserve the Udom administration.
They waited till then. And when they waited that they could not see it, they had to send and kill the innocent people with the real person. You shall escape. Finally, when Jesus was speaking, he said, you shall see the heaven and this. Finally said, you shall see the heaven open.
The prayer meeting featured praises and prayers, while Governor Udom Emmanuel took the first Bible reading from John chapter 1, verse 43 to 51.
The Deputy Governor, Mr. Moses Ekpo, has been conferred with the title of Ubogodom Ntoanang. The award, according to the youth wing of Ntofenang, was in recognition of the contributions of Mr. Moses Ekpo to the public good. Patience John has the details.
The award was presented to the Deputy Governor, Mr. Moses Ekpo, by the President of the youth wing of Ntofenang, Mr. Isidore Archibong.
In recognition of your commitment to the development of public service and selfless contribution to humanity,
Mr. Isidore Archibong explained that the group, after a careful study of the track records of Mr. Moses Ekpo and upon the conviction of his contributions to the development of Anang land as well as in public service, decided to honor him with the award. He described Mr. Ekpo as a humble follower and promised the uncompromised support to Governor Udom Emmanuel's administration. The President equally briefed the Deputy Governor on the just concluded National Convention of the group, which afforded them the opportunity to discuss the progress of the Anang people.
Yes. I don't know I
The Deputy Governor, Mr. Moses Ekpo, in his response, thanked the members of the Ntofenang for expressing confidence in the Udom Emmanuel's administration. He called for more support to the state government, noting that programs for the development of youth and enhanced welfare are ongoing that will enable Akwa Ibom youth have a fulfilled and secured future.
I want to underscore again the governor's interest and concern for the development of youth generally across the state. It is his wish and it is his commitment that the youth must be developed to enable them be in a position to take over the reign of affairs in this country. The government is not reneging on that commitment to provide youth adequate employment through the industrialization of the state.
Patience John reporting.
A campaign to rapidly immunize children from 9 months to 5 years against measles will hold in all the 17 southern states of Nigeria, including Akwa Ibom, later this month. In Akwa Ibom, the campaign will hold at all the vaccination posts across the 31 local government areas of the state from Thursday, January 28 to Monday, February 1, 2016. Ora Rekong attended a media parley on the forthcoming measles campaign and filed in this report.
Unveiling the 5-day measles campaign, which will hold simultaneously in all the states in the southwest, southeast and south-south Nigeria, the Commissioner for Health, Dr. Dominic Ukpong, said the best way to prevent measles, one of the leading causes of death among young children, is to present the children for an appropriate dose of the measles vaccine. Represented by the Director of Public Health Services in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Godwin Ebuk, the Commissioner said different control measures, including routine immunizations, campaigns, surveillance and clinical management, had been deployed by the Ministry to gradually reduce the number of young lives lost to measles and other childhood killer diseases.
Surveillance will tell you whether you should bring up a catch-up campaign like this one. Normally, a child who gets this should have or should be compared with everlasting immunity, lifelong immunity. Sometimes people complain because where a child has been given measles, certain things may be wrong. But if the vaccine is potent, if the child now gets measles, it will be mild. It will not kill that child.
The Social Mobilization Officer in the State Ministry of Health, Mrs. Evelyn Eyo, presented an overview of the measles situation in Nigeria and advised parents and caregivers to present their children for the vaccination at the 1,600 640 vaccination posts provided in the 328 wards of the 31 local government areas of Akwa Ibom. She also advocated improved personal hygienic practices like hand washing, proper feeding and proper accommodation for children to tackle cases of poor feeding and overcrowding that have been responsible for reduced immunity that makes young children susceptible to diseases.
Look at the correlation. Measles vaccination results in what? 75% drop in measles death. Hence, we are encouraging mothers to come out for immunization that is free. It is safe, it's available.
Others who emphasized the importance of the measles campaign were the measles consultant for the World Health Organization, Mrs. Gift Etentuk, the State Immunization Officer, Dr. Imodo, and the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Health, Dr. Charles Mbo.
The needles that are used are almost like that of the mosquito bite. So it's small needle, 0.5 mils. So by the time you introduce the needle and pull it out, you barely see any blood.
We are expecting not less than 100% coverage in our 5 states. Even as every funds, logistics has been provided for this campaign to be possible in our 5. This vaccination will take place in fixed posts, which is the health center, and temporary fixed posts, which can be the churches, the schools, the markets, the community square, and every other places where these things will be, where the community will identify for the vaccination.
We should really focus our attention to ensure that mothers actually bring out their children, because most times it's not that the health workers are not working, they are actually working, but most times it is the attitude of the caregivers. One of us actually took our children to the health center.
Measles, a highly contagious disease, is characterized by fever, rash, runny nose, red and watery eyes, leading to serious complications including blindness, swelling of the brain, diarrhea, ear infections, and severe respiratory infections such as pneumonia. Udwakeko reporting.
Anti-robbery squads of the State Police Command have intercepted a 3-man gang in Uran which kidnapped a 74-year-old woman in Adiadia. According to the police, the gang, which was well armed, suffocated their Grace Okunbasi in a Toyota Corolla car used in the illegal operation. However, 2 members of the gang met their death while engaging the police in a gun duel. Displaying the corpses of the kidnappers, the police commissioner Murtala Mani, represented by the police public relations officer, said their identity have not yet been established. The police spokesperson said that a third suspect, who is on the run, is believed to be in possession of sophisticated gun used in addition to the cut-to-size locally made pistols discovered with his deceased colleagues. She reiterated the commitment of the command to track persons whose traits are to terrorize innocent citizens, thereby making life uneasy for them.
We have suffocated a 74-year-old woman. The men, having noticed that the Nigerian policemen from anti-robbery were on their heels, opened fire on policemen. They were engaged, and 2 of them were shot dead. 1 of them escaped. Kidnappers were stating quite clearly, back on ground, stay away from Akwa Ibom. We will not tolerate your coming in here. You have no business.
The police also paraded some persons allegedly involved in robbing people and houses at various points and times. The command spokesperson said they were arrested at various points, while items including clothes and kitchen utensils were recovered from them. Also paraded were 2 persons suspected to have kidnapped a person in Okanafon local government area in mid-2015.
Please, you need to help the police to get the job done at Akwa Ibom. A free society that is free of crime is a better society for our children and our families to live. Do not hide that man who's doing something that is not right. Do not hide that neighbor. Make sure that you speak with the Nigerian police. Time has passed. There's no compounding of any case. It's not possible. We're not going to do it. It's a synergy that we have, which is a promise that we make, and we'll continue to get that done.
3 other persons, including a woman with a 2-month-old baby girl, were also paraded for engaging in shoddy business of baby sale. It's still Channel 4-5 News at dawn. We now take a break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Be contented with what we can provide for you.
Thank you, Dad.
You have to be godly children. Thank you.
Our children are the leaders of tomorrow, so they must be trained well.
Read your books. Concentrate on your studies. Take care of yourself. Don't be stubborn.
Yes, Mommy.
Parents, inculcate in them the virtues of contentment. Girls, shun runs.
There's a deal in town. Are you girls coming? Sorry, we are not. Spare me that. No, I can't come. My future is at stake.
Our parents warned us against such behavior.
To avoid teenage pregnancy and sexually transmitted diseases. Your tool to becoming a leader is hard work and dedication. This message is brought to you by Family Empowerment and Youth Reorientation Program, FAREP, a pet project of Her Excellency Mrs. Martha Udom Emmanuel, wife of the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State.
Now to the rest of our stories. The saying that all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy and vice versa came to the fore Saturday evening as a technical team of the Insight Bible Church suspended temporarily their jobs in the vineyard for social activities. The occasion was a dinner put together by the technical team to allow the members and the church faithful to relax and share good moments. The report filed by Obonwase Kanem, an intern with AKBC, is here presented.
It was also to take stock of the operations of the technical team and make amends where necessary, while also appreciating members for their diligence and commitment to the service of God and community. The leader of the technical team, Mr. Bassi, in his remarks, described the as the image maker of the church, committed to discovering, nurturing, and raising fresh talents for the church media. While relishing the achievements of the team, Mr. Bassi said that it has been a springboard from which top-class businesses and brands, including Nuptial Crystal on AKBC TV, Advantage Concepts, E-Troy Technologies Limited, and others came to the fore.
Our duty also includes projecting the activities of church for those that have not been able to join church live. Our slogan is preserving the word. That is what we stand for.
At the occasion, which attracted pastors within the church, including the Director General of the AKBC, the team presented awards to some of the shepherds in appreciation of the commitment, dedication, and contributions to the uplift of the church and their services in the vineyard. Those honored were the General Overseer of the Inside Bible Church, Dr. Silvanus Okafia, the Director General AKBC, Pastor Neti Ukwe, and Mrs. Sobi Utiaruk, among others. Speaking after receiving the award, Pastor Neti Ukwe thanked the technical team for honoring him and other pastors in the church. He acknowledged the dedication and commitment of the team towards serving God, noting, however, that every form of service should be done as unto God and with the right attitude, as God is a faithful rewarder. He appreciated the team also for spearheading the ICT revolution in the church, saying that it would make the church stronger in disseminating the gospel.
For the church to remain relevant and strong in propagating the gospel of Christ, there's a need for the church to deploy ICT tools in its propagation of the gospel.
In a brief sermon before the award, Pastor Mandu Davies advised Christians to exhibit diligence, hard work, and commitment to duty in every aspect of their lives. Davies condemned hypocrisy saying that it does not attract any reward from God, and also urged Christians to do away with eye service.
God rewards everyone that diligently seek Him. So I want to encourage us, please, let us be passionate about this thing. The world needs to hear the truth. Get better in whatsoever you're doing. And I believe that Inside Bible Church will be known round the world.
Better days are ahead for staff of Akwai Broadcasting Corporation, as the Director General, Pastor Nyeti Ukwe, has promised to provide them with facilities for medical screening, in line with his administration's commitment to improve the living standard of workers in the AKBC. Pastor Ukwe gave the assurance in Uyo Adedina, organized by the AKBC Radio Chapel of the Nigeria Union of Journalists. The story is here presented.
The occasion offered members of the chapel the opportunity to relax, wine and dine, as they appreciated God for seeing them through in their jobs in the past years. Appreciating the Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation for their role in information dissemination, the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Mr. Onofio Luke, represented by one of his special assistants, Mr. Mfrake Iwang, noted that the corporation has stood tall in its responsibility of informing, educating, and entertaining the state's population. The radio arm of the corporation, the Speaker noted, has discharged its responsibilities of promoting government's policy and programs, which is to aid effective development of the state.
I will communicate what I have seen to Mr. Speaker, and I will get his commitment in respect to this award.
The Commissioner for Transport, Dr. Godwin Tugude, in his remarks, described the Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation as one family which has provided platform to make people think right, and urged the corporation to continue in its good reportage of the government and society.
You have helped to make us. You have reformed us through your different support services, creating the necessary platform for us to reach out, to tell our own story, reform ourselves, create the necessary attitudinal change.
The Director General of the Corporation, Pastor Nyeti Ukwe, commended the initiative of the Radio Chapel of the AKBC for organizing the event and sued for the corporation of members to enable the chapel to achieve more. Describing Governor Udom Emmanuel as media-friendly governor, Pastor Ukwe said that his administration has put in measures to elevate the corporation through the provision of facilities.
Let me tell all of us that His Excellency Governor Udom Emmanuel is committed to transforming AKBC.
The chairman of the AKBC Radio Chapel of the NUJ, the Reverend Samuel Jonah, in his speech said that the event was organized to appreciate those who have contributed to make the work of disseminating information and mobilizing the people easier, as well as provide members the opportunity to relax with their friends. He took time to explain the responsibility of journalists in the radio arm of AKBC and commended Governor Udom Emmanuel for maintaining good relationship with the media in the face of antagonism by a section of it. He also spoke well of the Director General of AKBC.
In this mood and ambience, we will take the liberty to reflect somewhat on the kernel of our practice as broadcast journalists on AKBC Radio.
The state chairman of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, Elder Patrick Albert, appreciated the initiative of AKBC Radio Chapel for organizing the event and called for better working conditions for members.
Let me, on behalf of the State Council and SEC, congratulate AKBC on this event. We have come a long way in the development of the site, but sometimes we seem to forget ourselves. And that's why when I came on board, it's very challenging, but we know that we have started something and we will achieve a reasonable success, not just on the infrastructural renaissance, but in changing the attitude of our people.
The Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Mr. Onofiong Luke, was honored as the AKBC Radio Chapel Man of the Year, while the Commissioner for Transport, Dr. Godwin Tude, and the member representing Abak State constituency in the State House of Assembly, Elder Friday Iwo, as well as the member Akwa Ibom State Technical Committee on Foreign Direct Investment, Ambassador Moses Essien, were honored for their patriotism to the state.
The state government is leaving no stone unturned in making sure its industrialization drive succeeds and creates employment for the teeming youth. To this end, it has brokered a peace accord between host communities of Akar Fort Industrial Estate and Banking Layout. The story is here presented.
The chairman, Akwa Ibom Investment Corporation, Dr. Elijah Akpan, signed on behalf of the state government, while village heads and youth leaders of the host communities signed for their communities. The village heads are Etidong Francis Morgan Udo, Akar Fort, Etidong Clement Eken, Nogwibe Sikbo, Etidong Okunu Moren, Afayeko Rabianka Nibe Sikbo, and Etidong Asian Timothy, Itiami Korebia, Etui. Speaking on behalf of the state government, Dr. Elijah Akpan said his intervention and mediation to foster peace followed youth protests and placement of traditional injunction at the Champion Brewery's premises over alleged marginalization of the host communities. He stood for support from all segments of the society to enable the state government's industrialization policy to succeed and advised against acts inimical to the industrialization policy of the government. Dr. Oban explained that following the influx of foreign and indigenous investors who have concluded plans to operate in the state, Akwa Ibom would soon host many industries that would create job opportunities for youths.
Government might be so. So, yeah, I work for one is on and one do for the near back. Government maybe the people knows that whole land in Army. If I was to give you one time cover. Because government event. So whatever government event they need, we agree and they share. So that I remember to Kenyan Jesus Christ.
The management staff of Champion Breweries, Pastor Konekong, held Akikorp's move to promote industrial peace in STEM crisis. He described the steps taken by Akikorps as a template that would bolster the confidence of investors wishing to establish in Akwa Ibom, and promised that Champion Breweries will respect and uphold its social contract with stakeholders.
From the first day that we were here, even the other day and today, I've seen we have spirited effort to ensure that there is peace in all factories that will be there. I've also seen your effort to ensure that investment of any investor who may come there is protected. Myself, I want to say that you've done your job.
The four village heads and their youth presidents who signed the peace agreement pledged to coexist peacefully with industrialists, banks, and others doing businesses in the layouts.
Doanh nghiệp member you don't know me that I get about them on you come on you feel đi cuối của Việt Nam nói nữa là mình đi có mọi người rồi rồi mà biết có mọi người tôi nhìn đi mà nó dài có mọi người rồi đi đâu mà mình đi đâu mình mình chơi chết đi đâu mà tầm phá chơi quân.
The peace accord spelled out that 40% of royalties accruing from industries will go to primary host communities, while the three neighboring communities will share 20% each.
And on the national scene, commercial banks are back in the business of foreign currency deposits and transfer after the Central Bank of Nigeria lifted restrictions on such transactions. The banks can now transfer foreign currency in customers' domiciliary accounts to their international business partners, subject to a daily cumulative limit of $10,000 US. According to the Apex Bank, violation of the limit will attract regulatory sanctions. Spokesman for the Central Bank of Nigeria, Ibrahim Wazu, who confirmed this, said the Apex Bank decided to reverse the policy because its findings showed that currency substitution by customers, which made it enforceable in the first place, has been tackled. He said bank customers before now were converting naira to dollar and depositing the proceeds in the hope that the dollar would continue to appreciate at the parallel and official market. He said stability has now returned to the market despite volatility in the parallel market rate, with the naira exchanging for over $300 to $1. The lifting of the over 6-month-old ban followed complaints by local and international stakeholders that the restriction was not only killing businesses but had led to the diversion of huge forex to neighboring countries. You can also watch AKBC TV News online by logging on to akbconline.org or follow us on Twitter at AKBC45 or on Facebook at AKBC Channel 45. To end the news, a look at the top stories. Governor Domi Emmanuel has charged Akwa Ibom people to seek divine intervention to rescue the nation from further hardship as the economy contracts due to falling crude oil prices. And we also brought you a report that the police anti-robbery squad has marched a 3-man gang which kidnapped a 74-year-old woman in Adadia. That's our package this Monday morning. Thanks so much for watching. Remember, every day is an opportunity. Seize it. Good morning.